Right. I'll digress for a moment here and say that heroin, or opiates as a class, opium, morphine, heroin, and a number of the synthetics that are manufactured in the ethical pharmaceutical houses, simply overload the body's production of normal endorphins. Beta endorphin was discovered around 1975 as a painkiller that the body manufactures that is about 100 times as effective as morphine as a painkiller. When you don't have it, you get the aches and pains, the withdrawal, the stomach cramps, the nausea, the insomnia, all of these horrible things that attend withdrawal. When you give your body massive doses, or even small doses in the beginning of any of the opiates, the part of the brain that says build neurotransmitters simply says shut down. We have too much. So when you get off of the substance, when you try to kick it cold turkey, the body is in agony because those little factories in the brain simply don't produce the endorphins. The word endorphin comes from endogenous, orphan after morphine. It simply means endogenous or built-in morphine. About 5 or 6 years ago, there were some 40 known neurotransmitters, serotonin being one of the most famous. At this time, there are over 2,000 that have been identified, and they're still counting. So the brain is an exceedingly complex little factory. Remember the days in school when they said, well, you're worth about $5. You've got 2 pounds of salt, some potassium, some carbon, some hydrogen. Try to buy a gram of interferon for under $8,000 or $10,000. The body is far more complex than this set of chemicals that we held so dear in grade school. What Dr. Wen did was to hook the rats on heroin, have 2 groups, one control and one active. He would cut off the heads of the rats and run chromatography, electrophoresis chromatography, to find out what some of these trace proteins were in the control and the sample. The rats who had been hooked on heroin and suddenly cut off, that were pretty miserable rats, showed that it took maybe a week to 3 weeks before the neurotransmitters would again reappear. The exact range of time that the withdrawal symptoms occupy somebody coming off of a narcotic. The rats, which were taken totally cold turkey off of heroin, which had been stimulated with 2 little clips, and I have the photographs of all this in the documentation, fascinating work, and were given electro-stimulation at around 111 hertz, and we'll talk about this later, showed that within 40 minutes of the time that the voltage was applied, the brain's ability to produce its own neurotransmitters had been rehabilitated, and that within 3 to 5 days it had reached normal. Now, the implications of this were rather stunning. How many people do we have in this country who are on Valium, Librium, uppers, downers, legal narcotics that are highly addictive? You probably remember that